Hello, hello. Doesn't seem to be working on YouTube tonight, unfortunately. Can anybody hear me there on the internet somewhere? I'm back, says John. Yeah, but I don't think we are working on YouTube, so... Okay, we're live now. It's working. Great. I even hear myself playing back. Okay. Well, how you doing, everybody? It's been about 2 months since I've done a live stream, so as you can hear, I'm a little bit rusty in terms of... I started a stream and it wasn't working on YouTube, so there was a little technical snafu, but we should be working now, so it's great to be with you. I hope you all are having a nice weekend out there. I'm going to play a Stevie Wonder tune to redeem myself for the technical error. Here we go. A little bit rusty. I was just throwing a few mistakes in. Let's see if anyone is paying attention. Jennifer says, hi Joe from Canberra, Australia. Hi Jennifer, I hope you're doing well over there on a Sunday morning. Rodney Pierce from Pretoria, South Africa, watching live for a change from New York. Very cool. Cheers, Rodney. Good to be with you. Larry says, watching from Illinois. Mateus says, wonderful. Okay, great. Everyone can hear. I just want to say hi. Thanks for being with me for another stream. I'm going to play some songs for you this evening, and I wanted to let you know that I have a new course, which is a very exciting time. This is a launch of a new program that's about guitar improvisation. So if you watch me play and you hear me ad-lib like I was through that entire song, then that's improvising on the guitar. And to do that, you don't need to have like a crazy good ear. You don't need to really have anything other than the familiarity of some patterns and methodology for practicing them. And a lot of people learn the patterns but don't learn the methodology for practicing and end up kind of just noodling away, and they never really learn how to improvise and express yourself fully. And so that's why I created this course. I get a lot of questions about improvising, and I generally, when I do clinics and master classes, I talk about guitar technique, improvising, and songwriting and arranging. Those are kind of my three main things that I talk about. And on the improvising front, it's a lot of fun sharing this information, and I've had just an amazing response from students. I only opened it 4 days ago or so. So if you're in it, I hope you like it. I'm getting some amazing comments and feedback from people. If you join in the next few days, the pre-launch special ends real soon. You get 50% off, which is, that's like the best time to buy one of my courses is when I launch them, because that's when you get the best deal, because it only goes up from there. You also go in the draw to win one of these Zen Drive pedals, which is a really cool overdrive guitar pedal. These are, it's a used pedal. It's a coveted, highly desirable pedal. These go for $400 or $500, $600, $700, and I'm going to be giving one away to somebody who purchases the course. You go into a random draw. You'll also go in the draw to win a set of guitar pickups for either a Strat or a Tele made by Ron Ellis. And Ron Ellis makes what I think are the finest guitar pickups in the world. You can ask Julian Lage or any of the number of great players that play Ron's pickups. Lots and lots of people use his pickups. He really makes amazing sounding guitar pickups, and you can put a set of these in any Strat or Tele and totally transform the instrument. So I really am a big believer in Ron's pickups, which is why I wanted to feature them in this giveaway. So if you want to check out the new improvising course, just click the link below. It's linked below this video somewhere. 50% off. That deal ends in just a couple of days, and I'm really proud of it, and I've had amazing feedback from students. It's really aimed at all intermediate level guitar players, so do check it out. Okay. I'm going to play an acoustic instrumental tune called Flow, and I hope you enjoy it. This is one of my favorites to play. Here we go. Sorry, I'm just going to check my tuning really quickly. My wife would say, you can check your tuning normal speed. So glad it's all working. It's frustrating and when the technical problem gets in the way of the music. Here we go. Laura says hello from Houston, Texas. Hey, Laura. Gershwin fan says hello from Cincinnati. Well, since you're a Gershwin fan, I might play some Gershwin. I'll play a little Summertime since it is that time of year. It's very beautiful here in Montana at the moment. Sun goes down about 9:30 p.m. and all is well here on the farm. Our boy is 9 months old now, and he's just a little champion crawling around. And it's really amazing seeing him grow. I play him guitar all the time, and it's really, really special. Here's a Gershwin tune, Summertime. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you spread your wings and you take to the sky. But till that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. With daddy and mommy standing by. All right. Kevin says, goodness, that's insane soloing. Don't people say like you shouldn't repost compliments? I probably shouldn't say compliments out loud. But I appreciate it. Sorry, it's not Kevin, it's Kelvin. Sorry, Kelvin, and thank you. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about a couple things. Kelvin says, which looper are you using? I'm using the Boss RC1 looper, which is the cheapest, most simplest loop pedal that you can get. It costs about the same price as my course, actually. They're about $99. My course is $97, so it's a little cheaper actually. So you can buy a cheap pedal, or you can buy a course that'll show you how to do all kinds of soloing. There you go. There's a price comparison for you. I thought I'd talk a little bit about improvising. Some of you might ask, Joe, do you teach me how to solo like that in your course? And my answer would actually be no. And the reason is because I have a lesson on soloing like that on YouTube. You can watch my YouTube lesson for summertime, which is actually very popular. It has hundreds of thousands of views now. But I don't think people need a lesson on how to solo over those chords. I think most people need a lot more than that. A course is a real step-by-step journey that takes you in a really comprehensive way through all the steps needed to get to that place. And a lot of people skip a lot of steps and get confused and get frustrated. And so that's why I create online courses, is because it's a way to teach these things that is not only more effective than a single video lesson on YouTube, for example, but it's a lot more thorough, it's a lot more comprehensive, and you'll get a real deep dive. Mr. Kelvin Funkner is also a serious picker. Thanks, Kelvin. Cheers. It's good to know you're a fellow guitar player. Sher says, please do accept our appreciative compliments. Thank you, Sher. I appreciate that. So anyway, that's just a short note to say that my course is a really step-by-step, very gradual journey. Every exercise, everything I show you is very musical. And the other thing I wanted to mention is when I play and you hear me playing Summertime, there's a lot of blues influence in the way I phrase, the way I bend, the vibrato, the touch, very, very blues influenced. And that's really what I think is a great soloing foundation, whether you want to play jazz or country music or pop music or folk music or rhythm and blues or soul music, whatever. Having a blues foundation is so good. So I see a question there from Bob Rothhaus. Please play Fine Line. It's a great one of your best, soulful and meaningful. Thanks. I'll play Fine Line for you. And Kelvin says Ted Green has a great soloing book. Yeah, Ted Green is amazing. If you can, you can definitely get Ted Green's book. Chord chemistry is pretty spectacular, but that is a serious undertaking to work through that book. It is extremely advanced to someone like me. Here we go. Okay, Fine Line. Thanks for the request, Bob. 1, 2, 3. It's a fine line that we walk every day. There's a right and a wrong in everything we do and say. It's a fine line, runs through the heart of every woman, man and child, and everyone's got to do their part. It's a fine, fine line. It's a fine, fine line between the good and the bad, the truth and a fad. It's a fine, fine line. Yeah, it's a fine line that we dance in our dreams, all alone in the dark where we're playing our secret schemes. It's a fine line, those rules by we play. We slide them, we move them and lose them with our shades of gray. It's a fine, fine line. It's a fine, fine line between a win and a loss, the worth and the cost. It's a fine, fine line. There we go, that's a fine line. Thanks for the request, Bob. I do enjoy playing that song. It's a fun one. Still a question there from Paul. Hey Joe, what level is the chorus pitched at? What do you be able to do to get the most out of the course? Thanks for the question, Paul. So the course is aimed at all intermediate players, and so intermediate is that big kind of range of players that can play chords. So you're not a beginner. You can play some chords and you can play some melodies, maybe. You can play those kind of things, but if you were to jam with somebody, there may be two categories of people. The first category is someone who would just absolutely have no idea where to begin, no idea how to jam, what to do. Then you will absolutely benefit from this course because it shows you from the ground up how to improvise, how to develop that ability, how to practice it most importantly. And if you already can play some solos, maybe you play in a blues band or something like that. A lot of people get stuck into playing in the pentatonic scale. There, for example. And some people go as far as learning it in the other positions, like this. If that seems totally new to you, then you're going to learn it in the course. But a lot of people do learn that as well, the different shapes of the pentatonic scale. A lot of people don't learn the major pentatonic scale, which is this really cool sound. Kind of reminds me of the Allman Brothers. You know, it's that kind of sound. So you get a very thorough training on how to make the use of those scales. I teach you how to play it on up this way, down that way, and every which way in between. And I also teach you how to get out of the habit, this is a box that a lot of people get into, is the habit of sounding like you're playing a scale, sounding like you're noodling, sounding like your phrases don't have intention, sounding like you're not confident when you're soloing, and just feeling like you're just playing the same old predictable things that doesn't sound like you want it to sound. So I show you exactly how to break out of that kind of vicious cycle of not really feeling inspired by what you play, and so not feeling inspired to play. I'm a believer that deliberate practice is really the way to make progress on the instrument and the way to feel satisfied and have that feeling of momentum. And deliberate practice is the opposite of noodling. Noodling can have its place, but it's the reason a lot of people get frustrated with playing music, I'm convinced. Whereas deliberate practice is just being intentional about what you're practicing, and a good teacher will give you a very clear set of guidelines as to what to play, how to play it, how long to play it, exactly what to do. And so that's what I do. I take all the guesswork out of the equation. I say, this is what you do, this is what you do. The videos are short, they're easy to watch, it's really fun. So that's kind of who the course is aimed at. If you can already play on a really high level, and you can play on a high level, and you're a really advanced player, then it's probably going to be a fun course, but I cover probably things you already know. So it's really that intermediate level player that it's geared towards. So thanks for the question. I know some of you who are not interested in guitar lessons are probably watching this being like, okay, yeah, play another song, Joe. Which I shall do. Tree Man says, play Borders, please. It's a beautiful song with a beautiful story. Thank you. Yeah, I'll try to play that. I haven't played it in a long time, so I might mess it up, but you know what? I haven't been playing anything perfectly this evening, so this song's called Borders, and I wrote it about the story of trying to get married to my wife. It was during the pandemic, and we couldn't visit each other. She was in Canada, and I was in Nashville, and it was a challenging time. We didn't see each other for about a year, actually, in 2020. So it was, think of how challenging that is. It's like a long-distance relationship with the government telling you can't visit each other. Anyway, and at one point, my family were going to come over for our wedding, but then the government said, no, you can't. In fact, you couldn't even mail a package to Australia. The government would reject any packages because they were paranoid about Omicron. But anyway, that story turned out to be a interesting one, because Australia became the number one amount of cases after that. But anyway, we're not going to go into that. That's over. But this song brings me back a lot of memories of that time. It's called Borders. Borders are all that stand between us now. Borders are keeping me from you somehow. I'd go under the radar if I could. I'd be a camouflage stealth man sneaking through the woods. Passport, yes sir, I got two. Swab my nose, it's wear my shoes. Borders are all that stand between us now. If only I could fly 1,000 miles from you, you could be my bride and make this dream come true. Babe, I need you more than I ever have right now, but we'll make this work somehow. Across these borders, borders. ocean great and wide. I'd dig through the earth to the other side. I'd sell every single thing I owned, and I'd leave you one more day alone. Borders are all that stand between us now. If only I could fly 1,000 miles to you, you could be my bride and make this dream come true. Babe, I need you more than I ever have right now, but we'll make this work somehow. Across these borders, Alright, thank you very much, and I appreciate the request. So I'm getting some questions about music. Any plans for a new CD, says Larry. I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of what I've been up to lately. I was thinking of making a video for YouTube, something along the lines of I took a year off, because I pretty much took a year off playing on social media. I still did reasonably regular live streams. If you check my live stream schedule, you'll see that I tuned in for a live stream fairly consistently, but I wasn't really recording songs and making videos. And that's because I was doing a few different things. I was building a studio, which is the one I'm in now. I had a really fun time building it. I did an interview with Guitar World magazine recently, and I told them, yeah, I did all the carpentry myself and built out this studio, and I'm glad they featured that, because it's something I really had a great time doing. I really enjoy carpentry work. And some of my guitarist friends are like, are you kidding, Joe? I never use power tools. And I want you all to know that I'm very careful if I'm using any power tools. But for me, any work that doesn't involve sitting in front of a screen is a welcome change. And here in Montana, we live on a property that we're turning into a ranch of kinds. We're going to be running chickens for meat this summer. So that's going to be a fun adventure. We're building a chicken tractor, which is a contraption which is made of wood, and we're going to put 35 chickens in there, and then every day you move it to a different fresh piece of pasture. And it's a way to raise chickens so that they're truly pasture raised. And then we're going to harvest them. And we got a couple of lambs. So I'm a shepherd these days. I grew up with a variety of livestock around the house, and so we're kind of going back to that. I'm not going on the road too much, as many of you know. I have a young son, and this is a chapter of my life where I want to be home, and I want to be creating. One of the reasons I left Nashville was I was getting called for sessions all the time, and I felt like that was just really such a distraction from what I wanted to do with my music. Because when you do sessions, you go in the studio, and it's a great environment, and you get to hang with your friends who are the best players in town. I was working with the top people, and that's really, really cool and really fun, and it's hard to say no to that when you get called for it. But I don't feel like I was put on this earth to play an acoustic guitar track on someone else's song. I enjoy doing that, and I'm happy to do it occasionally, but it was becoming too much of what I was getting pulled into, so I wanted to step away and get away from that energy and just have the space to create. And I have this course platform, Invisible Technique, and I have a coaching community, every month we have a Zoom call. In fact, we have one coming up in just a few days next week, actually a week from today. And I enjoy connecting with those people. My community, by the way, is opening in August. So if you're interested in joining, you can join the waitlist. It opens in August and January. Those are like my inner circle students. And it's a really great group of people. There's about 400 people in there. And they post songs and I comment on the songs. And I have a video archive lesson with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. Actually, probably thousands now. So the coaching community is worth checking out for that. But I've stayed engaged with those people, but I really stopped posting online because I didn't need to. Azadine says, there are subtitles as you speak. It's freaking me out. Yeah, I guess that's an AI thing. I wonder if they know I'm from Australia. Sometimes, I remember on my phone, I had like this, when Siri first came out, Siri did not understand anything I said. And then they updated it so that Siri could understand Australian accents. Not that my accent is really Australian at this point. I'm half Australian, half American. I've lived in both countries almost equally as long. Not quite, but getting there. So, yeah, I decided to take the time to just be with our son, who's, like I said earlier, is 9 months old now. And I built out this studio, and the studio is finished now. I'm in here. I'm making music. Just check out my sign, the Riff Ranch. One of our good friends here in Montana, Audrey Hall, who you might have seen the nice photos she took of me. She's a great photographer. She made this sign and gave it to me for my birthday recently. So, the Riff Ranch, that's my studio. And I can record all kinds of music in here. I can record video. My lessons are very popular, and I have such a demand for the course material. I wanted to create this course, but the truth is I don't want to sit there creating guitar lessons for every month of the year. So basically, when I do a launch like this, it's a way to bring a lot of awareness to a new product, and then I can get back to my work of creating music, because I have a few albums that I've been working on for way too long now. I have some tracks that have been sitting there for 3 years that I haven't finished, so I'm planning on getting back into the social media world of recording music and practicing a lot. My routine is I like to wake up in the morning. I like to practice in the morning. And for those in my coaching community, you see my practice journal. I post my practice journal for them to see, those students to see, and they post their practicing as well. I've got a nice little dialogue going. But I love to practice. I love to record. So if I was to think of like my ideal day, it's coming out here at about 6 a.m. It's meditating for maybe even just 15 minutes, and then it's practicing for maybe a couple of hours, and then it's recording for maybe 3 hours. And then I'll close the studio, set my alarm, and switch off from it, and come back the next day. And I spend the rest of the day with my boy, and my wife will do some work in the afternoons. So it's a really nice routine, and I'm planning on diverting my energies back to creating music and finishing the albums I have to finish, and getting back to social media. So anyway, that's just a little bit of an overview of what I've been up to. I appreciate you all tuning in and listening and being even interested in this, because I know a lot of you have been following me for a long time. I started doing these live streams at the beginning of the pandemic, so yeah, 4 years ago now. And still doing them, still enjoy them, and certainly grateful for my people who appreciate what I do. So there you go. So I'll play another song, and I just wanted to let anyone who's just tuning in know that my course on improvising is out now. I just got a great question. I'm distracted by it. Sorry. My improvising course, that we got a pre-launch going on, and you can save 50%. And you can go in the draw to win one of these Zen Drive pedals, which is a really beautiful boutique overdrive pedal. These are worth $400 to $500. They'll probably appreciate in value. And you also will go in the draw to win a set of Ron Ellis guitar pickups for either a Strat or a Tele. You get to choose whether you want Strat pickups or Tele pickups. These are the best guitar pickups I've ever heard. I'm a huge fan of Ron Ellis's pickups. They're so musical and so touch sensitive. They're really, really worth selling every pedal you own to buy a set of these pickups and then reevaluating from there. They're so good. So that is really exciting. The course is launching now. So check it out, An Invisible Technique. The links should be below. And yeah, there you go. What was the great question I just saw? I forget what it was, and I can't scroll down in my app here, unfortunately. But anyway, I'm going to play a blues to wish you all a good rest of your weekend. And I'm only going to use things that I teach you in the course. Curtis Wilcox says, got the course and loving it. Great so far. Thank you, Curtis. Appreciate that. Here we go. This is called Trouble in Mind. Actually, I'll play the T-Bone Shuffle. How about that? Let your hair hang down, baby. We're gonna have a natural ball. Let your hair hang down, baby. We're gonna have a natural ball. 'Cause if you ain't happy, it ain't no fun at all. You can't take it with you, that's one thing for sure. You can't take it with you, that's one thing for sure. Nothing wrong with you, baby, that a T-bone shuffle can't cure. Here we go. Take it with you, that's one thing for sure. You can't take it with you, that's one thing for sure. Nothing wrong with you that a T-bone shuffle can cure. blues, and doesn't the blues make you happy? I think mentors are so important, and one of my mentors is Robin Ford, who's one of the great pioneers of fusing blues and jazz. And I was sitting with Robin one time, and he was playing some John Coltrane over like a little speaker, and he was just loving, just having a moment of John Coltrane appreciation. And I said, man, it sounds like his heart's breaking. And Robin said, no, man, he's happy. He's like, the blues is about being happy. It's about being in a crappy situation, maybe, which everyone finds himself in from time to time, and saying, you can't keep me down. You can't do that. I'm gonna have fun. I'm trying not to cuss here, but it's a way of saying, don't be doing that. I'm gonna have a good time. So be it. Play the blues. So anyway, it's interesting. It's an interesting take to consider the celebratory music in the context of history of the blues. So anyway, yeah. Okay, great question. Hey Joe, I asked the question about the song database. I'm curious as I know a lot of songs, but would like to be able to organize so I can pull up songs in key or say 80 beats a minute, for example. Thanks. Okay, that's a great question about organizing your repertoire. So when I teach in my coaching community, there's a 5-step process. Step 1 is getting your technique kind of in a okay place where you have a good baseline. You're not tensing up. You're nice and relaxed. You have good left hand technique, good right hand technique, etc. You know the fingerstyle patterns, all that. And then stage 2 is your repertoire. I think repertoire is so important. I recommend everybody just make a list of all the songs that they know, and perhaps categorize them in different ways. You can categorize them. It's up to you how you categorize them. It can be songs that you know very well, and then songs that you know you can kind of get through, but you don't know very well. I like to organize my songs in several categories. One is fast songs, one is swing songs, one is sweet songs, so kind of pretty songs, one is funk songs. There's 4 categories actually. And so I put all my original songs in those buckets. I put my my vocal songs in one list, and my instrumental songs in another list. And once in a while, I'll go look at the list, and I'll think, wow, I could use a few more fast songs. I could use a few more funk songs. I could use a few more swing songs. I usually have a lot of pretty sweet songs, believe it or not. There's that's one way of organizing the repertoire. And I also keep a master repertoire spreadsheet that I use in like a Doodle Sheets document, and I have just a list of all the songs from all the albums I've put out. I put out 7 albums, and the instrumental tunes are there, and the vocal tunes are there, and the arrangements are there. You know, I have a lot of arrangements of popular songs, and there's hundreds of them now. Jazz songs, Christmas songs, you name it. And then I have my songs that I think are covers. They're not really my arrangements. It's just like me playing a song like Cocaine, which is now one of my most popular songs online. Go figure. But yeah, so I have the kind of original songs, I have the arrangements, and then I have the cover songs in different categories. So it's really just about looking at the repertoire that you have and figuring out how to categorize everything, and just keep up with it. And I read a nice quote from somebody that said, the first half of an artist's career is developing the repertoire, and the second half is getting rid of songs and refining the repertoire. And that's kind of what I think can be gained from looking at your repertoire in a big list and thinking, okay, that song kind of doesn't really suit me, or that song doesn't really serve me anymore, or I really would love to learn this song and this song. My advice when learning songs, if you don't arrange them or write them, is to learn songs that are well arranged. So by a player like I think my songs are well arranged. I put a lot of care into my arrangements. Chet Atkins has amazing guitar arrangements. There are a lot of really great arrangers and players out there, but it's important to pick a song that's well arranged, because if it's not well arranged, then it's just kind of like it's really difficult to learn. So that's what I do. I saw another question about my wah-wah pedal. It's just a stock wah-wah pedal. It's the mini Crybaby. So it's just a tiny little pedal. I kind of got into these mini pedals because I was doing a lot of fly dates, and I would have a Pelican case, and I'd put my Fender 1967 Champ amp in there, and then I'd put an AER also. Now I'm using the Capo 75, but I put it in the Pelican case, and I have 2 amps in a Pelican case, and then I'd have another road case with my pedals in, and I was trying to keep everything as light as possible. I even found the lightest guitar strap on the market and bought it, because I was trying to make sure my bags were under 50 pounds when I was flying, because just trying to make everything as streamlined as possible. So I used the mini Crybaby, because as you know, the big Crybabies are really heavy and huge, and I think this sounds great, sounds fine. So it has been a long time that I've not seen you. How are you? I'm waiting for the new arrangements. Thank you for the question. I've just spent a bunch of time talking about what I've been doing and where I've been, but I'm planning on making a more succinct video about kind of that story soon. So stay tuned, and I shall have some more songs to release in the near future. I've kind of been working on this course, this improvisation course that I've been talking about for a while, and that's been a big source of where I've been putting my energies, because anyone who buys the course will realize that it's a mammoth amount of work that goes into these. So anyway, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Do check out the course at invisibletechnique.com, which is my course platform. This is the best time to buy it because it's pre-launching. It's 50% off. You go in the draw to win some awesome prizes: a Zen Drive, almost dropped it, a Zen Drive pedal, and a set of Ron Ellis guitar pickups, Strat or Tele configuration. It's a really cool way to get into the course at the best price there'll ever be. Check it out. I wish you all the best. Have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July to my American friends, and I hope you all are having a nice time down in Australia in the winter down there, my Aussie listeners. Thanks very much for tuning in yet again, and I hope to be back with some more music quite soon. So thanks very much, and take care.